David Worth wasted no time. On his first day out of jail, he sat in front of a piano. With each song came a memory.
It's an important record, is what I would say. Like, it's a record of who I was at any given moment.
David is on the autism spectrum. It has perhaps shaped his ability to play music and what music means in his life. For David, music literally marks time.
Yes, it does. I remember my entire life as it happened, down to the exact place, time, and conversation we were having.
But for 3 years and 9 months, when David couldn't play, there's not much to remember. There's no piano in jail.
It just seems like less would happen without music per day.
But as David sat restless, a former high school teacher lived terrified. The crescendo in her life, a rambling death threat sent by email. It told the teacher to drop all of her court cases, divorce, small claims. But she wasn't getting a divorce, and she didn't have any small claims cases. Her only involvement with the court was a temporary protective order and stalking charge against David.
This was not the only email that Gwinnett County school system had received, and not the only one that Brookwood High School had received. And all of those other emails were sent to the FBI for investigation.
Attorneys Kamal Mason and Reginald Winfrey say this letter wasn't investigated by the FBI because police were already convinced they knew who sent it.
They only wanted to pick up the piece that they thought showed a connection.
To really understand the case against David, we have to go back to 2012, 10 years ago, when he was assigned to the teacher's special ed classroom. Intellectually, David was top of his class, but socially, his autism caused him to miss important social cues.
Like, you hurt me.
But David didn't like the way the teacher treated him or the other students. This is David talking to the teacher in a recorded meeting at school.
You think I caused you pain. That's what you're saying. You think I did this to you.
Am I feeling these emotions?
Well, David, it's your perception. That's what I'm trying to get across. It's your perception.
Instead of clearing the air, the tensions grew. David's therapist told the school he threatened to harm the teacher, even though her own reports show he repeatedly denied the accusation. It didn't matter. The report led to a temporary protective order, or TPO. Does this teacher need to be afraid of David?
No.
Does anyone in our community need to be afraid of David?
No.
But when David, now a college student, showed up at the high school 2 years later wearing a disguise, he was accused of stalking the teacher. He had no weapons on him, but police found his outfit unsettling. David didn't understand the fuss. He says he just wanted to get his old school records. When confronted by police, he tried to run.
If the traditional person seeing David in the community sees some of those behaviors, they may look at those behaviors as being strange. But at the end of the day, none of those behaviors are criminal. That's just who he is.
But David was arrested, charged with aggravated stalking. About 5 months after that incident, the teacher received the threatening email. The sender claimed to have used the dark web, also referred to as Tor.
And that was the state's whole theory, was this was sent through Tor and there was no way to trace where this email actually came from.
Can you?
You can, because I contacted Tor.
And Tor responded with an affidavit. Whoever sent that death threat did not use their platform to do it, nor did the sender use Tor to deliver 2 emails investigators later found that David had received.
They said, you're about to be falsely accused.
But it would take a new DA and a polygraph to convince prosecutors of that. By the time the court agreed to drop the charges, David and his family had already spent more than $80,000 on his defense.
We needed to really explain to the courts what autism is and what autism isn't, because autism is not insanity. Autism is not post-traumatic stress.
Throughout David's time in jail, his attorneys say there is no evidence he tried to contact the teacher even once in writing or by phone.
He lost his freedom for well over 4 years.
But the day the charges were dismissed, the teacher told the court she lives in constant fear of his stalking and terrorizing efforts. If you'd had the chance to talk to the jury and it were opening statements, what would you have said?
I would have told them that the people who were supposed to protect him were the people who were harming him.
David says he lost a lot of time, memories never made.
It was like watching somebody take a completely new, unhappened life and throw it in the garbage.
He's not sure what he will compose next, but he hopes the community is open for its own music lesson.
Within our society, we have to come to an understanding that everybody's not the same.